Okay. For lesson 3, speaking and listening, apply, you are going to prepare for a class discussion. So remember that since we are not in a live classroom, we can't have live discussions other than in live lesson. So for this discussion, you're actually going to be having the discussion online by typing in your responses. But remember, the purpose of this is a discussion. It is not for you to respond to others and tell them they did a great job. Okay, so that being said, for this particular lesson, you're going to read the excerpt from a speech by Sojourner Truth in lesson 3 on page 2 of that lesson. Okay, she delivered this before the Civil War, nearly 70 years before women in the United States were allowed to vote. So as you're reading, make sure that you annotate the text. Now, what is annotating? Annotating just means you're taking notes, okay? So you're going to make short notes on the sides of your text, or in your case, since you don't have the text right there and you can't make notes directly in there, you're going to have a notebook or a Google Doc, and you're going to take notes as you are reading the text, okay? You're going to look for vocabulary that you're not familiar with, questions that you have while reading, any kind of imagery, any words that have connotations that that you find interesting or make you feel a certain way, or are very impactful to you when you're reading them. You're going to make notes of all of those. Okay. Now, tomorrow you're going to be participating in a discussion, and you're going to need to answer all of the discussion questions and provide evidence or examples from the text. So really, when you start taking notes on this, you're going to find that it's so much easier to provide that evidence when you are responding to those questions tomorrow. After you submit your initial response, there's 3 questions, and after you answer all 3 of those questions and you give evidence for each of those answers, then you're going to need to read other students' responses, right? And you're going to post a reply to 2 other students. Now, when you post your reply, you are expected to go beyond I agree or disagree or great job. Okay, again, guys, you need to answer and cite evidence, give examples from the text to support your answers. When you're responding to other people, you're going to either agree or disagree and then add on to their answer, or you are going to ask them a question to kind of make them think or expand on what their initial response was. But again, the purpose is not for you to critique their response. It is for you to have a discussion with them. So keep this in mind. When you go to the movies with friends and you come out of a movie and you say, "Oh, that was a great movie. I liked it when blah, 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 like this. And I think that they did this well. And because they did this and this and this in the movie." Okay. Your friends don't go, "Great job on critiquing that video or that movie. I really like how you pointed out this," right? They don't do that. They're carrying on a conversation with you. They're saying, "Yes, I know, I liked that too. And I thought that they did this, blah, 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 blah. And I really liked how they did all of this," right? They're adding on. And then they might ask you a question. "Well, do you think, like, when this happened, did you think this was going to happen? Blah, 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 blah," right? So they're really kind of carrying on a conversation. And that is what you're going to be doing in this particular assignment. You're carrying on a conversation with the other students in the class, but it's all online. So it's all typed in. So please don't go in there and say, "Oh, you did a great job on your response," okay? Because that is not what we're looking for. It's my job to critique you on your responses. It's your job to carry on a conversation, okay? So make sure you look at the rubric in lesson 3 on page 3 so you know how you'll be graded. So remember, in order to get full points, you have to give comments, you have to be clear, you have to have evidence in there, you have to be able to carry on that conversation with someone, you're being respectful and polite to everybody. So there's a lot of things that I'll be looking for in your responses. So just make sure that you know what you're being graded on. All right, guys. And again, have fun with this discussion. Okay. It should be just kind of like, when you're in class and you're sitting at a table talking to a group, right? So you're just carrying on that conversation.